Again, welcome back to C++ programming language. This is Unit 3, Lab 1. Our main objective is to solve problems using C++ programming language. Our first problem is to find the body mass index of a person. Here we say body mass index is a measure of health on weight. It can be calculated by taking your weight in kilograms and divide by the square of your height in meters. The interpretation of BMI for people 16 years or older is as follows. If your BMI is less than 18.5, then you are underweight. If it's equal to 18.5 but less than 25, then that's normal. And if it's equal to 25, less than 30, then it's overweight. And if it's 30 or more, then it's obese. So let's see how to solve this problem. Again, this problem, we are going to use the selection statement because we can see we have 4 different conditions here. Either you are underweight, normal, overweight, or obese. So this is our code. First, we include our library files or the standard library file, which is the input-output stream, in order to use the cout and cin. So first in the main function, we ask the user to enter his weight in pounds. Then the user will enter the weight using the keyboard with the cin. Then we also ask the user to enter his height in inches. And the user enter his height. Now we can see that the formula said the weight should be in kilogram and the height, again, should be in meters. So the first thing we are going to do is to convert both the weight and the height. The weight from pounds to kilograms and the height from inches to meters. So we declare a constant variable named kilograms per pound, which is 0.45359237. Again, that's converting in order to convert the pounds to kilogram. And also we have another constant variable named meters per inch, which we initialize it to 0.0254. This will help us to convert again our inches to meters. So the first thing we do is to compute the BMI. But in order to compute the BMI, we need to find the weight in kilogram first. So here we say the weight we enter in pounds times the constant variable kilograms per pound. And that will convert the weight from pounds to, again, kilogram. The same thing applies to the height. So we multiply the height by meters per inch, the constant value. And that will convert the inches to meters. Then now we have our weight in kilograms and height in meters. So the BMI is equal to weight in kilogram divided by height in meters squared. So here we divide by height in meters squared, meters times height in meters, which is again height in meters squared. So our solution is in the variable named BMI. But we have 4 conditions. So we said that if the BMI value is given to us, if it's less than 18.5, then we are going to print underweight. Now, if it's less than 25, then we get normal. And if it's less than 30, we have overweight, else we have obese. Now, we are using the multi-if, else if. Now, if we use if, then we have to be careful how we come up. In this case, we can use the logical operator. So we need to use the logical operator that if the BMI is less than 18.5, and also we need to set the limit. It shouldn't go 18.5 to less than 25. But here we are using the multi-if, else, if, else, if, else. When we use if, else, if any condition is true, the rest of the conditions will not be tested. But if we use if, all the conditions will be tested. So we have to be careful how we set that up. So the best again is to use the if else. Now let's look at the next problem. Our next problem is to compute taxes. So the same concept, we want to use the if, else, if concept also. So here, based on the status, you're going to file as a single. If your status is 0, it means you file as a single. If it's 1, then married, file it jointly. If it's 2, married, file it separately. If it's 3, then you are head of household. Otherwise, we enter a wrong status. So the status should be from 0 to 3. Again, the goal of this program is using the multi if else if statement again. So in this program here, again, we have the main function. So this is our instruction telling the user 0 represents single filer, 2 and 1 represent married, file jointly, 2 is a married separately, 3 is head of household, etc. So the first thing we ask the user is to enter his status from 0 to 3. Then he have to enter his income, taxable income. So the user enter his taxable income, he enter his status. Then we are going to compute the tax. So we declare variable name tax, we initialize it to 0. So now we said that if your status is equal to 0, and also if your income is less than or equal to 8350, then your tax will be income times 0.10. Again, this rule is from the IRS website. If your income is less than or equal to 8,350 and you are single, then you pay 10% tax. Else, if your income is less than or equal to 33,950, the first 8350 you pay 10% tax. Then we deduct that from your income. Then the rest you have to pay 50%. Now, if your income is less than or equal to 82,250, remember the first 8350 you pay 10%, and up to minus 8350 from 33,950, you pay 50%, and the rest you're going to pay 25%. And the same thing if your income is over 171,550, again, we have the first 10% already, the 15%, the 20%, then the rest of the income you pay 28%. And also if it's less than or equal to 372,950, we have the 10% already, the 15%, the 25%, the 28%, and the last section will be 33%. Else, you are going to pay 10%, 15% remaining part, 25% part, 28%, 33%, and the rest will be 35% if your income is over, again, 33. We have the income somewhere here, 372,950. If it's more than that, then that's what you pay last. Now, the same thing we are going to apply for else if your income is, if your status is 1, we have the same percentage. Also, status for 2, 3, etc. So we have to, again, the percentage will come from IRS. So if you go to the IRS website, you'll see it. But our main goal here is that we should understand how to use the if, else, if statement. So I just did only when your status is 0. Then when your status is 1, it's almost the same step. The only thing that will change will be the percentage, the tax percentage or the amount. So the same thing applies to status 2, 3, etc. Now, if you didn't enter the status from 0 to 3, then we are going to say you enter an error. So we're going to return 0. Then later on, that's the final, we print the tax that you paid. So again, let's continue. So this will be our last problem. Again, this will be a simple math learning tool. And the same concept, we want to use the selection statement. Here we say this example create a program for a first grader to practice subtraction. The program randomly generates two single digits integer, number 1 and 2, with number 1 greater than or equal to number 2, and it will display a question such as 9 minus 2, and the student have to answer, give us the answer. And the message will be printed whether the answer is correct or not. So let's see. So this is more or less like a quiz. So we have our IO stream again. We have C time. This is for a time function. And also we have the C stand line. This will be for the random, if we want to generate a random number. So this is for run and also srun functions. So the first thing we do is to generate two random single digits. So we use the srun time function. Then we generate the random numbers. So these random numbers, we go to num1 and also num2. And the number we have C modulus 10 here. The number we are generating will be a single digit up to 9. So next, we say, okay, if the first number is less than the second number, then we are going to swap. So we always want the first number to be greater than the second number. So here we say if num1 is less than num2, in C++ to swipe two values, we need to have a third variable. So in this case, we call this variable temp. We assign num1 to the temp. Then we assign num2 to num1. Then we assign temp to num2. So we swipe the two values. The value in num1 go to num2, num2 go to num1. Now, this is where we're going to ask the user now, what is num1 minus num2? The user enter the answer. Then we are going to check if num1 minus num2 equal to the answer that the user enter. Then we say the user is correct. Otherwise, it's wrong. So the goal of this program also, again, we are using the selection statement. And the new thing we learned here today is how to use how to generate a random number first, and also how to use the CTime library, which is what we have here. So the goal of this program is generate two numbers randomly and single digits, modulus 10, single digit. Then, if first of all, we want to get a positive answer. So if the first number is less than the second number, then we swap it. Then we are going to ask the user, is num1 minus num2 is what? The user will enter the answer here. We declare the answer variable. Now we are going to check if num1 minus num2 is equal to answer, if this is true. If this is true, then we are going to print you are correct. If it's not true, then we're going to say you are wrong. So that would be the conclusion of this lab work. Again, we went through 3 programs. First is to find the BMI, that's the body mass index. So the input we need in that program is the weight and also the height of the person. To find the BMI is weight in kilogram divided by the height squared in meters. Then our second program is to compute the taxes. And that should be a long program because again, the tax rules is from IRS website. We have 4 different categories that you file as a single, head of household, marry jointly, or marry filing separately. And each category of income, there's different percentage of tax you pay. So there we use again the multi if, else, if, because we have so many conditions there. So again, see you in the next lectures, and thank you.